Capitec released a trading update yesterday. The company expects full-year headline earnings per share to be as much as 50% higher. The group's shares ended just over 0.5% lower on the day at 186 rand and 10 cents. The results will be published at the end of March. So let's start off with you, Owen. I mean, Capitec, we spoke of the unsecured loan space. This stock has gone from strength to strength. And I think most investors that didn't take part in the rally are sitting and looking at the scenario and feeling very disappointed.
I'll tell you what, the rally in Capitec really pretty much went up to, I think, last year around September. Picked up $10, I think, since then. Hasn't done much, in light of what the rest of the market has done. It's lagged quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the chart, it's one of the few charts that looks like the price of gold in the past 3-4 years. It just went up in a straight line. They were clever enough to realize that there is money to be made in the lower end of the market. And, they've definitely set themselves up to be the preferred provider of short-term funding to the lower end of the market. So whether they can continue to go from here, I don't know. Let's see. They just had this recent book build, the capital raising they did. I think it's about a week or two ago, if I'm not wrong. No, in fact, probably about a month ago, to increase their distribution network. If that kicks off nicely, maybe we could see some more action around Capitec.
Paul, Capitec, I know that you didn't take advantage of this, and you are hitting your head against the table
evil,
right now.
Really.
Well, I have to point out when you make mistakes, Paul. But Capitec, is it still lucrative right now? And as Owen alluded to, capital raising to start this expansion project. The point is that with Capitec, we keep talking about the low-cost scenario that is playing out for the company. Can they keep this going so that they offer this product at the levels that they are?
It was about the mid-90s or later that I had a meeting with Yanni Mouton and Chris Otto and Michiel Leroux in Stellenbosch, and they said, oh, we're going to start this bank. And I said, well, that seems like a bit of a distraction. Aren't all the other banks busy failing? And they said, no, we're going to do it anyway. And then they listed it at 2 Rand a share. Now it's at 180. So it's a bit embarrassing to have watched this all from the sidelines. But the question, of course, is we must not linger and dwell on the past. We must focus going forward. So what you want to know is, should one buy them now? Earlier today, you had that guy at lunchtime with Alicia, the bald one from RMB Morgan Stanley, who talks about strategy. Chris Mayer, I think is his name.
Yes, it is.
And he said, why would you want to buy Capitec, which trades on 4 times its book value, when you can buy African Bank in the same space, which trades on a 1.5 times book value? So I'm with Chris on this one. It's done very well, but from here going forward, it's...
Disclosure, Paul, how long have you owned African Bank? Since I can remember, actually, on my end, but how long really?
Look, it's not that we're doing so badly with African Bank. It's moved from like 33 to 38 or something this year, and we get fantastic dividends out of them. So we're not complaining, but relative to Capitec, it's been a real doozy. As far as this from here is concerned, though, I think you'd have to say that the business that is bigger and that has more momentum is the one that you want to own. So I've got nothing against Capitec, but it has, as Owen says, kind of sideways traded for the last kind of 8 to 9 months.
Absolutely.
Which kind of tells you that the market was waiting for it to grow into its earnings.
So as Paul Theron comes to grips with the fact that he needs to accept defeat.
Yeah, which is good. I'll tell you what, the other challenge I've got with Capitec is the liquidity in that stock. It's a nightmare trying to get involved there in size. The stock just doesn't trade well. So perhaps maybe let's get a stock split at some point and guys can look.
Owen, what about the interest rate environment? And it's great we're sitting at a 30-year low in South Africa, sitting at 5.5%. If we start to see rate hikes going forward, so maybe 50 basis points is not going to have a significant impact, perhaps 150 would, especially in this space. It's a very sensitive space. Is that the right comment to make when you look at Capitec and the unsecured loan space? And this goes for Able as well.
You need to look, for example, at the nature of client that these guys service. These are generally clients that are afraid to get blacklisted, in my view. I understand those clients. Talk to an Ellerines, talk to other furniture retailers. They'll tell you that they're getting clients, your 45 to 50-year-old ladies who make sure that when they get paid, they go straight to make sure they've paid their installment. So I think it should take quite a bit of an interest rates push before the guys start to feel some strain. And I really think, their model is going to work for the next foreseeable future until interest rates get unbearably higher. But I think at the moment, out of the US, these guys are going to continue to keep interest rates lower. Potentially, if the world economic picture continues to improve, in very big quotation marks, we could have a lower interest rate environment
Careful,
for the next coming couple of years.
I caution you.
I'm loving this.
What about, Capitec has really shaken things up, and the one thing that it did is change the banking hours, something that the four banks wouldn't budge on for a very long time. And Capitec came and changed this significantly. We're talking about ABSA a short while ago. Are we going to start seeing a very different environment for the consumer?
Look, I think, I must applaud the guys for making sure they increase their working hours, and maybe, I'm not sure, do they work on Sundays now as well?
Yes, they do. And so yeah.
There you go. So I just could never understand why we can't go to the bank over the weekend. You've got up to 12:30 on a Saturday to do your banking. So it was really creative of them to actually, I thought it was legislated that you can't do it. But Capitec went out there and they added another trading day onto their numbers. And you're seeing other guys probably going to follow suit in the same manner.
Nedbank has already started changing their trading hours as well, Paul.
Yeah, and the total number of clients that these guys can service, people think, oh, well, by now they must have given a loan to everybody that could possibly qualify for one. But, we're a young country with a young population, so there's going to be a high rate of household formation, and so there's plenty of business to be done, and particularly if you're going to identify the good clients and then give them a little bit of more money. So I'm very positive about this sector.
But not hot on Capitec, Paul, I see.
Well, no, I was about to say something rude like, they're as cold as the booster rocket from the space shuttle as it separates and then starts falling back to Earth. But that would be ridiculous. This is a good company with a good future. Capitec, I think it's hot enough for me.
Hot enough. Are you then going to buy the stock?
We do have, in fact, quite a few clients that own it.
There we go. Okay, so Owen, hot or not, Capitec?
Geez, I need a better catalyst for me to get involved in stock at these levels.
What would you want to see?
At these levels, look, if probably we remember Capitec is a business that's involved in with other companies that are very big on corporate action. Let me talk about Steinhoff's, your JD groups. The relationships, Yanni and the boys at Steinhoff that are being mentioned here. You never know. Maybe something in the form of a takeover. Could
potential,
inspire.
do you think it's a target going forward?
I think it's a great business. If the guys can prove that they can continue to grow their market share and lend carefully without distressing themselves a lot, I think at some point they'll definitely get looked at.